Pump it up, pump it up.
Trae.
Come on, come on.
With Trae.
Pump it up, pump it up.
It's the day with Trae.
This is the day to gain inspiration, to make a positive change in the nation. We're inviting you to partake in conversation, to raise your vibration. It's the day that we will all celebrate all of our peace that make this thing elevate. Watch the negative fade away, cause it's the day with Trae.
Grand Rising, everyone. Welcome to the Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. I get to welcome you to a wonder-filled Wednesday this week. Really excited always for my guest who's joining me today. We got Shanell Brown in the building, the founding director of Shades of Divinity. We're going to be learning about this organization and an upcoming event they have going on. So I'm really excited that she's joining me. You know, I'm also excited that you're joining me, y'all, because this is the top of the show. This is where you get to join in by sharing this show with others who you feel could benefit from our daily dose of dopeness we give you here on the Day with Trae. And if you can't watch our TV show, we still got you covered, y'all, because you can listen to us anywhere you find your favorite podcast. Just search Converge Media Network and the Day with Trae. You can find us on your favorite platform. And I'm so grateful to our podcast team who's making sure that we have crisp audio for all of you listeners out there, and that we also give a love to our video team who make sure that we have crisp video for you. So we are ready for all of your platforms, and I'm truly grateful for it. Well, before I get into it with Shanell here today, I get to tell y'all about my son and an experience I got to have with him. You know, I've been sharing so much about his growth because it really is like a mother's joy, right? Like, he is growing in such a great way, and his voice is starting to drop. And what's so interesting about it is he and I really have such a fun-loving relationship, and we crack jokes all the time. And the other day I heard his voice get a bit deep, and I said, whoa, he was like doing this voice, and he got real deep in his voice, and I was like, wait a minute, what are we dealing with? And I tell you, there's nothing better than to see his reaction to me being so tripped out about his rapid growth. And of course, I dealt with this with his older brother, but it's always so exciting to see young people grow into the adults they're going to become. And of course, for me, it's like I got these two young men now who, you know, my oldest is 19, gonna be 20 this year. And I think about the growth of these children, but it reminds me about the growth of us as people. And when we are interconnected and we utilize that interconnection for the benefit of each other, we all get to experience our growth. While we're in the spring season, many of us are getting out there in those gardens and we're experiencing the growth of vegetation, right? Whether it's flowers or vegetables, whatever you love to plant, we are experiencing the time of growth. And that's what spring is all about. You know, if you are somebody who said, I need to get into my spring cleaning so you can experience your space in a different way, there is growth that can happen through that. And I have experienced that as well, not only through my son, but through my home. You know, making it more and more of a home year over year has been such a phenomenal experience for me as a homeowner. And it really has shaped how I see my design aesthetic, not only on my body, but really having some creativity to envision what it could look like in my space. So I just think about growth all around, y'all. And I've really been so fortunate, and I truly am so grateful for the opportunity for self-reflection. You know, throughout this season, I've really been focusing on what is it I need to do? How can I be better? How can I make sure I'm having a better balance of my energy? And that self-reflection has allowed me to learn a lot about myself. And you think when you get older, I know who I am, oh, whatever. But the truth of the matter is we all have opportunities to grow. So I'm just encouraging you all during this spring season to find those opportunities within yourself to grow. Whether it is experiencing young people in your lives growing, or growing things in a garden, or growing your own internal connection to yourself. I encourage you to think about growth in different ways. And if there are areas where you know you have some opportunities to grow, I challenge you to go ahead and make a commitment to that growth in this season. And you will soon see some amazing benefits of your dedication to your own growth. Well, after this short break, y'all, really excited because up next we got Shanell Brown in the building from Shades of Divinity. We're going to be talking to her all about the organization and learn more about their upcoming event. Stay tuned. You don't want to miss it. You're watching The Day with Trae.
When I had my first child, I didn't really understand the impact of my using until I gave birth to him.
I worked in weapons department in the Navy. That's a work hard, play hard kind of place. It very much became apparent that I had a substance use disorder.
Nobody asked me if I was okay. There was just medications that were thrown at me for so many years.
I had some dental work done, and pain pills were introduced. It flipped a switch that I didn't see or know or understand.
The first time I recovered, my dad was the person, the rock. When he died, I had a severe relapse. It was one of the darkest times in my life because I had a taste of what recovery could feel like. A lot of shame came in.
And the grief about it was so huge that I would have to drink to deal with what it felt like to be in my body.
I had lost the military career. I didn't have a place to stay. I was out of work. Seemingly overnight, I became a vehicle resident.
And that continued to kind of escalate my use, is being afraid to ask for help.
I tried multiple times to show up and be a parent to those kids, but I couldn't do the minimum. In my mind, they were safer where they were than they were with me.
It does. It takes a village of support. It takes a village of resources.
Getting all the things that kind of made me whole again happened because of the stabilization.
There is no part of my sobriety that would be possible if it wouldn't have been with help from others.
Every one of those people believed in my ability to live differently.
Each one of those people along my journey has contributed to my success.
Don't count us out.
More people recover with support.
Learn how you can help someone's recovery at supportaddictionrecovery.com.
Welcome back, y'all, to The Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. Joining me right now, we got Shanell Brown in the building. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Well, okay, so Shades of Divinity, you're the founding director. So you help bring this baby to life. Tell us a bit more about what got you to say, this is something I need to do.
Okay. Well, I'll take it back a little bit. So I'm a public health nurse. I've been a public health nurse for this month marked 5 years. And I started off as a nurse home visitor at Tacoma Pierce County Health Department. And what was unique about my role is that I had a caseload of all Black clients. And I saw them from pregnancy up until their child was 2. So pregnancy, they birthed their child, and up until their child was 2, I was there. I was coming to their home about a week to every other week. I was speaking with them, and unlike traditional bedside roles, it was really chill. I would come home, I could wear whatever I want, I could wear sweats, we could be on the floor, we could be talking. The most I would do as far as medically would be just measurements and blood pressure checks and things like that. But during my time, I realized that there were a lack of resources out in the community, and a lot of my work as a nurse home visitor was case management. And so when my clients would say, well, do you know where I can get this, or do you know where I can get that, or they're going through some things, the most we could do as a organization was just provide them gift cards or transportation cards, some diapers. And so I was really frustrated with that. And then when I would bring things up and opportunities to help the community, maybe have some community events, something just to increase the resources, I received, in my opinion, a lot of pushback. And I felt like the more that I spoke up, the more I kind of got isolated, got put in the corner. And so that left me very frustrated. And I was like, okay, I have to do more, because if not me, then who? And so I went on, I had my bachelor's in nursing at the time, and so I went on to get my master's because I was like, I wanted to gain the skills in order to be a leader, because I didn't want to just be a nurse, I wanted to be a nurse leader. And so I got my master's in nursing, and I was like, you know what, I still want to do more. So in between working and getting my master's degree, I was like, you know what, I want to do some more community work. I want to be with the people and be on the ground. And so I started Shades of Divinity, and that was in December 2022. So the end of this year will be 3 years. And since then, I think we've made great strides for being a newer grassroots organization.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, okay, so when you talk about your experience and needing to provide more resources, tell us about some of the work of Shades of Divinity. And how does it transfer in terms of your experience to now being able to do it on this like nonprofit sector?
Yeah, so so for me, I was used to the local government and then currently state government side. So I know how it is to be with those who are leading this work and leading the programs, but stepping into Shades of Divinity as executive director, I see what it means to be on the receiving end and how to, first of all, get resources to be able to provide resources, our programs out to the community. And so what we work to do is we have about 5 focus areas. So we have our research, we have community outreach, we have our, we have other areas that we work towards to really promote. Our mission is to promote reproductive justice in Washington State, and we have a focus on BIPOC families, specifically Black birthing families and Indigenous birthing families. We're promoting Black liberation and Indigenous sovereignty. And so we provide, for example, we just closed our scholarship application for this spring. So the goal of mine, because everything that I do when it comes to my work is for it to be data driven. So I start off with, what does the data say? Is this creating a problem? Why is it a problem? How do we solve it? So there are a lack of diverse providers, healthcare providers out, especially here in the Seattle, Washington area. It's very white dominated in the healthcare field. And so studies show that we receive better healthcare outcomes from those who look like us and those we can relate to. So in order to help promote that, we provide scholarships about twice a year, so the spring and the fall, to those who are BIPOC, who are pursuing healthcare careers, in order to increase that diversity. So, and what's unique about our program is it's not just for those who are attending universities or colleges or medical students or nursing students. You could be someone who wants to be a doula, someone who wants to be a midwife. Anything that is medically related or healthcare related, you're eligible to apply, and they're low barriers. So that's something that I learned in my work, that when we, well, I wouldn't say specifically Shades of Divinity, we work to be low barrier, because oftentimes a lot of folks, they create these programs to help people, but they include all these barriers, and then so people like my clients have to jump through these hoops just to get basic services that really they're entitled to. So I make sure that our work doesn't make it too hard for others to receive. And so with our, for example, our scholarship application, you don't need a letter of recommendation. As a student, or when my past experience as a student, letters of rec, that was a huge barrier, because you had to wait for whoever you were trying to receive the letter from to write it, and they'd have to, or they might ask you, okay, what do you want to include in it? And so that would take time. And then next thing you know, you missed the date, you don't get the scholarship. So no letters of rec, a short essay, just answering a few prompts, or you can record the essay if you're not one to want to write an essay, or like a great writer, if you want to speak, you can do that. So that's just one example of the work we do. We also provide birthing kits, which we call Divinity kits. So in partnership with MultiCare, we were able to provide kits to those across the state of Washington, and we provided culturally centered kits. So that's something that differs from other nonprofits, is we like to make sure our work is tailored to the cultures and the communities that we're serving. So that, perinatal education, we have some great plans in the future. Now I'm trying to get going, and so I'm just very proud of what's happening so far.
Well, you should be, right? Yeah, this is beautiful, because when I think of, you know, something we all need for our lives to have a good balance, it is, direct access to healthcare that we know is going to help us stay healthy or get healthy and really focus on our overall wellness. So I really appreciate you bringing these opportunities directly to folks. Now, y'all have an upcoming event here. Tell us a bit more about this partnership and how y'all came to be doing this amazing work.
Yeah, so the event is called Unwound the Womb, Reclaiming Birth and Justice Through Healing. And so I got this great idea originally because when I was doing strategic planning and realizing what I wanted to do, I realized that all the good conferences revolving reproductive justice, birth work, birth education, birth equity, they're all on the East Coast and the South, some in California, but there's really not much on the West Coast. So I wanted to bring that here over to the West Coast and specifically the Pacific Northwest. And so the Washington Department of Commerce released this funding opportunity for those to serve specifically the Black, Latinx, and tribal communities. And so I thought that would be a great opportunity, and out of hundreds of applications, we were chosen. So I proposed like, hey, let's do a reproductive justice centered event. And so do an in-person event, which is Shades of Divinity's first in-person event. And so it's for the Black, Latinx, and tribal communities. This is a for us, by us event. I wanted it to be nice. So it's in Lakewood at the McGavrick Center in Clover Park's Technical College area. And so we'll have a keynote speaker. We're having Rhonda Graham from Indigenous Center for Indigenous Midwifery come and speak. We're having vendors, we're having panelists, a mix of those in the community and also professionals. We're having free food by Mama G's Kitchen. We're having free smoothies by Intentions Juice Bar. We're doing raffles. We're having vendors, all Black, Latinx, and tribal vendors. Like I said, it's really a for us, by us event. And we really want this to be not only a place where you can have a space for healing, because I don't know if you know about like the statistics right now, but we're currently in a bad maternal health crisis. Black birthing folks experience maternal mortality at 3 to 4 times higher than our white counterparts. And then currently in Washington State, the indigenous community have the highest rates of maternal death. And so we have, yes, a lot of issues. And the thing that frustrates me the most is that 2 out of 3 of these deaths are preventable.
Yeah.
And so a lot of work is being done to address these issues, but I wanted to create this event so we can have a space to heal, because especially in the Black community, we experience trauma, and it seems like we just have to go on about our day. We don't have space, we don't have time to sit and process it and heal from it. And so this event is giving that opportunity to do so, and not only a place for healing and maybe discuss some difficult topics, but also celebration. We're resilient people, we're passionate, and we have so much culture, and that deserves to be celebrated. So this event is on June 7th. It starts at 11 a.m., 11 to 4 p.m. It's a Saturday. We want it to be like amazing, and so we've been planning it since August. I have a team along with myself, and we've just constantly just planning how can we make this the best it could be.
Well, it sounds like you put a lot of work into it, obviously, you and the team.
Oh, yeah.
And Unwound the Womb. I mean, what a dynamic title to really invoke this understanding that, hey, within our communities, we can dive into practices and health strategies that allow for us to look at how we reduce these numbers. I think so much about, indigenous practices when it comes to birthing. And there's so much that has been stripped away from, what was the foundation of medicine. When we think of herbs and understanding how to use them for the benefits of the body and the mind even. But it's beautiful to hear you talk about it this way and really connecting it to your professional experience. Because you saw a void, Shanell, and you said, I need to step into this and do something about it. Because you couldn't just sit by the sidelines and see all of these needs and them not being fulfilled. But data and statistics should be driving us when it comes to things like this. And so I'm looking forward to Shades of Divinity doing more, because the beauty is you all are just getting going, and already you got this phenomenal event you're putting on June 7th. And you're opening up to community to come learn more, get these resources that they need. So I really just want to thank you for the work that you're doing. It is necessary. Of course, I got to give you time and space, because if folks are wanting to know how they tap in, maybe how they volunteer or support, please look right there and let them know how they tap in with Shades of Divinity.
Yes, so if you want to support, because we need all the support we can get, this is a community effort. I also believe in community-centered work, so this work does not get done without the community. You can follow us on our website, shadesofdivinity.org. You can also follow us on our socials. We have Instagram, it's Shades of Divinity. We have Facebook, we have LinkedIn. If you just type in Shades of Divinity, you should be able to find us. That Instagram, I would say, is the best way to follow us, because that's where we post the most updates. But you can register. It is a free event. The first 100 people that attend, they get swag bags as well, and we have some good stuff that we're putting in the bags, and we're really putting our heart and soul into this event. And so we would love for you all to come. Please share the word, and then also stay tuned for future work that we're doing. I have big goals and big dreams, and I'm really trying to get them out into the community, and I'd love to continue to serve you all.
Wow. Great work, Shanell.
Thank you.
Anytime you got an update, you come on back.
Okay.
Right.
Will do. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate this.
Absolutely. That's what we're here for.
Yes.
We're amplifying these great stories, and you definitely have a great one. Thank you for the inspiration
Thank
today.
you.
Wow. Y'all, what a great story, and definitely an amazing organization that is here to serve the community. Make sure y'all go to the website, learn more, be there at the event on June 7th. This is another way for us to be connected together. And when we talk about how we're dealing with the rise of these unfortunately negative maternal health numbers, we need more of these kind of services in our community. Of course, I get to wrap it all up because I'm so inspired, y'all. I hope you are too, right after this short break. Stay tuned. You're watching The Day with Trae.
Hey, it's your girl, Carolina Sanchez, and The Nightcap is the late night show where no topic is off limits. Join me as we dive into the wild world of relationships, sex, and everything in between. From hilarious dating disasters to steamy secrets, you know we've got it all. We've got celebrity guests, expert advice, and a cocktail in hand. The Nightcap is your guilty pleasure. So grab your drink and tune in, because the best stories start after dark.
The Nightcap. New episodes weeknights at 11 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
Empowering the community one connection at a time. Connect-Wise, your partner in finding the support you need. Download the app today and experience the difference that a connected community can make. Learn more at eec-wa.org/connectwa-app. In Seattle, it's more than just coffee. It's community. At the station, we brew more than just your favorite cup. We brew connection. From Beacon Hill to Columbia City, we're a space for artists, activists, and everyone in between. A place to gather, create, and simply be. Whether you need a quiet place to work, a lively spot to meet friends, or just a moment to unwind, find your place at the station. More than coffee, it's home. Visit us in Beacon Hill or Columbia City. The Station, where community happens. Black caregivers, entrepreneurs, and elders, this one's for you. Queen Care is offering complimentary self-care services to those who give so much to their communities. Take a moment to restore, recharge, and be cared for with free wellness treatments at the Spa House by Queen Care. Spots are limited, so don't wait. Go to queencareproducts.com now to sign up, or scan the QR code on your screen, because you deserve the same care you give to others.
Welcome back, y'all, to The Day with Trae. Oh my goodness. Huge shout out to my guest, Shanell Brown, joining me today, the founding director of Shades of Divinity. And clearly there is some passion behind this work. You know, what I really took away from what she was sharing was, as a nurse, she realized there was a void that was not going to be able to be fulfilled through nursing alone, that it's going to take another entity to come and be rooted in community to provide proper solutions to what she was seeing and witnessing in the nursing field. And to have someone say, you know what, as a nurse, I had to step up and do this as well. It's so powerful and impactful for all of us, because when I talk about whatever your profession is, there are oftentimes some ways that you can take your skills and bring them into community to be even more impactful. And many of us are serving community even in our professional roles. So I understand that that is your path and your journey. But if there's ever a need that you are seeing that has been, something that you've been witnessing for years, it might be you who needs to create the solution for it. So be inspired by Shanell's story as much as I am. Anytime we feel that spark of inspiration, it can oftentimes spark us to learn how to be a part of the solution, as Shanell showed you she is today. So huge shout out to her for joining me, and always a shout out to you all for joining us on this wonder-filled Wednesday. Of course, I'll be back with y'all tomorrow, and until then, at 11 a.m., y'all. Peace.
Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media.